Hi guys, this is Carissa with Inky Fairy Designs, and I'm back with the second part of my video featuring this adorable stamp that has just been released. It's a greeting farm stamp, but it's exclusive to Simon Says Stamp for the STAMPtember event this month. And so I have a video showing you guys how I colored that image. If you want to look at the description box below, you can check out that link. This video is going to be like my card building video for this card and the background. So I'm starting off with a piece of Bristol Smooth paper. I've heard a lot of people really love this paper for blending the Distress Oxide and Distress inks, and I hadn't tried it, and I've got like a whole paper pad of it, so I thought let's pull it out and give it a shot. So I pulled out some of the Distress Oxides and Distress inks and started to go to town creating this little kind of blended background. Originally I wanted it to be this pretty circle and just have all these like colors kind of blended on top of each other, and it didn't really work out that way. Lesson learned, if I want a circle, I should probably use a die cut mask, and then I'd have my perfect pretty circle. So I'll try that sometime, but it turned out really pretty in the end and I was happy with it, so I just kept going, kept blending, and so it kind of turns into this little blob, but it also kind of turned into a background scene with the grass at the bottom, and a little bit of shading for the girl with the brown, and so I just kept adding colors until I was happy with that. I have a list of the all the colors of Distress Oxide and Distress inks that I used to create this background on my blog. There's a link to that also on the description box below. Sorry about that. Didn't turn my phone on mute. Anyway, I wanted to have a little bit of a blue sky, so I added some peacock feathers just to the edges, kind of like your normal blending from the edge to the inside, but I didn't want to blend it into that yellow because I was afraid it would turn green because I was using the Distress inks and on top of the Distress Oxides, and well, I just, one day I'll try it, but I didn't want to today. So you can see that I keep pulling out my image. I fussy cut her. There is a matching die set though. If you don't like fussy cutting, you could totally pick that up at Simon Says Stamp as well. Here I am adding some some splashes of water, and I was actually clapping to get some really fine splashes on there. So you can see it lifts beautifully, and yeah, I mean, it was really great to work on the Bristol paper. Normally I work on watercolor paper. I did notice that my second round of flicking water pulled up, it started to pull up some of the paper fibers, which wouldn't have happened on my heavier watercolor paper, but that's just, it didn't like mess with the integrity of it or anything. So I'm drying that. I'm happy with that. I went ahead and die cut it with a couple die cuts from My Favorite Things. That is the stitched cloud dynamics for the edge, and then I also used the Blueprints 15, a die from that one, and I believe 15 is retired, but maybe you can still find it somewhere, but it's just this rectangular die, so there's plenty of those you could use. So now I'm figuring out what sentiments I want to use. And I did want to use some of the accent stamps that are included in that stamp set. I ended up using the leaf and stamping it with the Distress Oxide Walnut Stain, I believe is the color. Yeah, just the walnut stain. And because that's the brown that I used on my background, and I just wanted to kind of incorporate that and keep the continuity there. So I'm going to stamp that around the background, kind of. I'll put my image on there and see if I like the placement. Here I am getting out the Distress Oxide, and then I realized I need my paper back because I wasn't stamping very evenly on my bumpy mixed media painted craft mat. So yeah, it works better obviously if you have like a mat or your normal stamping surface. So you can see I just kind of check where she is and realize I need another leaf poking out behind her. I just think it looks like leaves are falling, and it's just really cute. So I'm going to fussy cut the little pumpkin after I add the little smiley face. You get 2 smiley faces in this stamp set. They fit the pumpkin perfectly, and the larger coffee cups and mugs that are in this set. It didn't really fit the one in her hand, but it fits the other larger ones, accent ones in the set, so it's cute. So I decided I couldn't choose. I love fall. Today is the first day of fall, and I love pumpkin spice. So I thought one in one corner and the other one in the other corner, and then I don't have to choose. So it's going to say fall is here, and then pumpkin spice it up. I just think that's so cute. So I'm using my Misty just to make sure that it gets nice and stamped clearly. In hindsight, I don't know, I guess I like to point out my mistakes because I don't reduce things. I mean, if I can use it, I'm going to use it. I added a bit of a shadow with the olive green that I used, the same Copic colors on her scarf, just to create a little bit of a grounding for the image to sit on. Even though I'm going to pop her up, I felt like it needed something to ground the image onto the background. The mistake I was going to point out is that those leaves on the bottom, my sentiment went right over it, and it's a little bit unclear to read. So yeah, I probably should add my sentiments first and then the leaves, and that would have worked out better. So you can learn from my mistakes and do that if you want. So that's about it. I think that is coming to the end of my card. I'm just adding some foam adhesive to the back of my pumpkin. This is like a thinner foam, and then I get out a little bit of a thicker foam for my image, just so that they have a little bit of a different dimension, gives a little bit more pop to each one. And just pop that right on top, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video and also my coloring video. Like I said, this is an exclusive stamp designed by the Greeting Farm for Simon Says Stamp at STAMPtember for STAMPtember. It's available at simonsaysstamp.com right now. It has matching die sets. Hurry up and get it. It's only available until it runs out. So they get, I don't know how many they get, but however many they get, that's it. Once it sells out, it's gone. So if you think it's cute like I do, go ahead, run over there, grab it, and I know you're going to have so much fun. Thanks you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.